So I'm going to be writing about prompt 2, which asks why is it so hard for many people, possibly me, to knowingly put bad writing on paper. So what I'm going to do to start is try to think of an opening that obviously draws people in, but still keeps the flow going mainly, and keeps the writing in a way that I can kind of shape it into what I want it to be. So a good start for me at least would be many people struggle to knowingly put bad writing or writing they may not see fit onto paper, even in drafts. I'm going to talk about my experiences, so I'm going to say something like personally. No, I don't like that. This can cause issues in the writing process and can lead to writer's block, especially if the right right words or right ideas for where the writing is supposed to go aren't coming. So I like this opening for a couple of reasons. I feel like it gives me a lot of stuff that I can talk about, especially stuff that I know about, like the kind of struggling trying to get that flow of writing and catching on to it, and it not being kind of cookie cutter in a way, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna continue and talk about personal experiences. Like when I write, most of the time, I need to be in a set environment where I know my writing can start well. Oh, sorry, it's something in my eye. This limits my chances of not knowing what to write about next and how I can change my writing for the better. And then that's probably going to be my first paragraph. I might add something later if I think of something good to put there. Next, I'm going to talk about why mentally it's a big issue to put something down on paper for some people that they may not know if it's really up to date or if it's really up to par at least. So I'm going to start off with the writing process looks different for everybody. Some people don't need to write drafts to get good paper. Yeah, good paper written, while others need to stick fully to their scripted prompts and drafts. personally, I don't like that personally start. Just doesn't feel right for this. I'm experiencing the prompt as I'm sitting here writing, so that's just completely lovely, I think. Oh God, Lord have mercy. This idea of needing to write the perfect paper to start is moderately I'm gonna take that out and say can be extremely hurtful to beginner and intermediate writers due to the feeling of it not of the writing not working or feeling or getting the feeling of accomplishment. I like that last part, the due to the feeling of the writing not working or getting a feeling of accomplishment after writing, because it's kind of like the main reason people write is to let that come to them and like fully get in depth with their writing and get that sense of accomplishment when it's finished to be like, yeah, I wrote that and I think I wrote it really well. So when people have that feeling of not doing well enough, it kind of takes away the point of writing, and that's a big issue. The needs to write, to put ideas down, even if it is not, isn't a great paper. A perfect paper is more important. When starting a paper or novel, starting a paper, and needing it to be perfect. Writers many times have editors and people who can correct small issues and truly understand and fix what you're trying to say without changing your own words. So when we gotta change your to their own words. So when we compare ourselves being our own editors. Hi Mitch. Yeah, good. Doing something. Mitch from our classes saying hi. Being our own editors. So when we compare ourselves being our own editors and writers to someone who obviously has their own, to someone who has their own separate editor, it can cause a lot of self-esteem issues. and issues and their feeling of how their writing is. Because if people aren't able to realize that writers aren't like good writers because of the way that they actually write, it's the ideas that they're putting out and the creativity that they're putting out more than what the words they're typing is. Because anybody can put a word on a piece of paper and it can be wrong and have an editor go back over it and it sound great. Like if we had editors for college, my papers would get hundreds every time, but we don't because we're the ones editing it. We're the ones editing the papers. This idea of with this many people only read from books with major authors and major companies putting out great works of literature. This is great to open your mind to multiple types of writing and to fully explore literature as a whole. But it also feeds into this narrative that these writers are fully writing this themselves and don't have the team of editors asking about each sentence they write. So when they compare their own writing to this almost machine-like almost this machine to so when they compare their own writing to this almost machine-like writing, it can cause great amounts of questions and doubts to form around their own writing. This is never going to be beneficial it's never going to be beneficial because the more writing that is out to the world in all shapes and sizes is of all shapes and sizes is because the more writing that is out there in all shapes and sizes will cause more people to think freely and worry less about their own writing and be more willing to put it out there for the world to see. If more writing was available without the teams of editors behind them, and we got to see the full process. Novels and articles being made, then people would stop worrying about writing a perfect paper on their first attempt. And that's it for me. I'm gonna get this onto YouTube, get the captions on it, and then I will share it with you. Thank you.